How you doing?
I'm doing great. I feel great. I do feel like a little scratchy, voice scratchy, but
Get over it.
not a big deal. If you could do last week, I could do this.
Hey man,
I could do this.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't care that you're sick. I just I just want you to cry. I needed a refill of my water, but I'll settle for your tears.
All right, that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Here, fill it up.
Hello, you beautiful freaks, and welcome to a brand new episode of Frequels. I'm your host, EJ Leeson, and with me today is one of the greatest guys in the world, Mr. Rory Colorasi. How are you, sir? I'm
so excited. My contract runs out in 3 episodes.
I know.
I am out of here.
That's what Vince did. What he was like, I'm up. My contract's up, and I'm out. And we're like, why?
He signed on to a different podcast.
Oh, what is he doing now?
It's the Drywallin' podcast.
Fucking drywall. He just can't get away from it.
No, he was salivating when he was telling me about it.
He was salivating? Oh, man.
It's like a weird podcast because they don't really like talk about much. You just hear them doing drywall.
You just hear slop.
You hear like the occasional like hammer in the background, things like that. Yeah. Just like people working on stuff.
Yeah. And today our special guest, actually it's Adrian Leghorn. He's a local artist.
The first. Adrian Leghorn. The first. Yes.
He is awesome, super talented. You can follow him on all his socials. But before we were right about to start, he messaged Rory. Rory, do you want to tell us what happened?
In a crazy twist of events, Adrian... It's awful, guys. So Adrian's like a big animal enthusiast and mauled almost to death by a family of rabid raccoons.
Yeah, it was really... I could not believe that. That seems like...
It sounds made up.
Right.
But it definitely is not made up. But one thing that's absolutely true is that he's not here today, and the guy's got rabies.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because he has to get like all those shots. And stuff.
But he sent me a message back that said, he said I'm not getting the shot.
What? What are you saying?
He just said that he wants to see how this plays out.
He's an anti-vaxxer?
He is an anti-rabies vaxxer.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
He knows that's bad, right?
I don't think he fully understands what's happening in his body right now. The nightmare that's about to unfold.
Oh, so it's kind of like, wait, can I see like one of his messages?
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, he's just sending letters that don't comprehend, like they don't even make up a sentence.
I know. Honestly, he was doing that before he got bit.
Okay.
I don't think he knows how to read.
Should we call?
But I will say that his messages do seem more aggressive because at first they were just like, it was like he was just spelling things normally, as best he could, really. But now it's all in caps.
Yeah.
And gibberish. Exclamation points.
It's just like gibberish
plenty.
And not even like emojis. Like,
no.
Wow. I don't know what's going on with this guy.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Raccoons, adorable. But they are a little territorial. Mm-hmm. And some of them are packing rabies.
Yeah. I mean...
Honestly, I'm on the raccoon side.
Yeah, because like, what was he doing with the raccoons?
Tickle them. It was weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was...
Yeah. See, Adrian, I don't know.
Remember when we first met Adrian at Port Richards, and he was just like, he's like, I'm a tickle monster, and he came after you.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And they tried to do that to that one guy that was just like, I'm gonna say he was a good like 8 beers in the bag.
Yeah.
And then the guy just like took a wild swing at him.
Yeah.
And we all like let it happen because deep down inside we all knew that he deserved it.
Yeah,
but
Adrian.
Adrian deserved that night to be punched, and he also kind of deserved to be mauled by that family of raccoons.
Yeah. That's really unfortunate. I just hope his family will be able to help him out. It sounds like the rage virus, though, like from 28 Days Later.
He's. I imagine it's the exact same thing, and I hope to never see him again.
Yeah. Well, Adrian, thanks for canceling last minute. Sorry you couldn't be here. You missed a good one.
We think he canceled. He sent us a message that we interpreted it.
It said
as
R
rabies.
G G G.
It said R abies.
Smiley face.
Foamy face.
Foamy face. Oh no. But yeah, so let's get into the movies that we've recently watched. Rory, do you want to start us off?
Well, I think I talked about this in our last episode. I have some sort of annoying sickness in me, but it's not like, I can't say that I'm sick. Like, I don't have a fever, I don't have chills, never any of that shit. Just this real nasty cough. And then you do it long enough, and then your head starts to get a little dizzy, you know, so you don't want to do anything. So I rewatched The Founder.
Oh, yes.
With Michael Keaton.
PT, yeah, Anderson, right?
Well, I'll say this. Michael Keaton fucking rules. Is it a surprise to anybody to hear me say that?
No. I always love Michael Keaton. I think like the Founder. Oh, you know what I'm confusing?
I was about to correct you.
Oh, I was confusing that with the Philip Seymour Hoffman movie.
The Master.
The Master.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking originally. And then when
This
you were
is
like
the
Michael
McDonald's
Keaton,
movie.
I was like, wait, what? Michael Keaton?
I did not
yeah,
want.
he is great.
I did not want to correct you on the show.
It's
I'm
the
just like,
rabies.
I'm like, EJ, do you know what the fuck I'm talking about?
No, The Founder. That's actually one of my favorite Michael Keaton movies.
I could tell because you remembered the name.
God, I actually love that movie too.
He's. I had a swell of compassion where I was just gonna be like, well, actually, EJ.
Actually,
I winced. I was like, P.T. Anderson.
P.T. Anderson. It was The Master.
That movie rocks. By the
yeah,
way. That's a really
too.
great movie, The Master. But The Founder, the McDonald's movie.
Yeah.
What a wonderful movie that is, because
Ray Kroc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Michael Keaton.
I remembered the name.
I
right?
know.
I can't remember the title.
Can't remember the movie.
God. Okay.
Yeah, Michael Keaton does a really good job of making you root for a shithead.
Yeah.
You know, because he's not a great guy, that Ray Kroc. But at the same time, the McDonald's brothers, who I found to be very lovable, you also get frustrated with them a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you're just sort of like, all right, I get where you're coming from, and I kind of get where he's come from too, Ray Kroc. Because he's basically just saying, like, we could really turn this into a thing and kill lots of Americans over time, very slowly. But, like, you know, it's just a very, 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 very good movie. Like, if you haven't seen The Founder, all you idiot listeners, just give it a watch.
It's really good. It's really good. And if
do
you
a
have
better job to remember its name, too,
guys,
America.
Yeah. If you have time to lean, you have time to clean. I can't believe I forgot the name of that movie. Oh my god.
I'm gonna segue. So last thing I'll say about Michael Keaton, he is incredibly fun to watch in that movie. All those like little weird faces that he makes. Yeah. You can't see EJ right now, but he's doing some dead on Michael Keaton impressions, facial expressions. So going into that, a couple weeks ago we talked about how we had seen Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yes,
and
it was great.
It's great, and there's a dance sequence in it that I think is actually the cure for depression.
Oh my god!
It's Jim Carrey dancing with Jim Carrey, and it's just the greatest goddamn thing ever. So I'm watching it, and I'm thinking about what my relationship to Jim Carrey has always been, which has not always been like a balanced one, because I love him as an actor, but I saw his movies when I was like very young, and I wasn't terribly impressed by any of them. So I'm down for the last week. I'm not really wanting to go out too much. So I was like, hey, Becca. Or she said it to me. I don't remember how it went. But let's watch a bunch of Jim Carrey movies. So we watched Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Love it.
Yeah. That cast of animals. Where was that my whole life?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Then we watched Dumb and Dumber.
Did you watch the sequel? Because I actually think the sequel's better than the first one.
I did not watch it, but I remember seeing it when I was a kid and liking it more.
Yeah, I think the sequel might be better.
I think so. My
Yeah.
memory I have of it, I was like, I remember liking it more, but I don't remember much about it. Just that I was like, this movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those animal actors, man. There's fucking penguins living inside of a refrigerator in that movie. I'm like, that's my dream.
Yeah.
To be a pet detective, you know, because I think that would be a good role for me in this life. But then we watched Liar Liar last night, which it dawned on me that I have seen sections of that movie, but never the movie in its entirety.
Yeah.
And man, that guy, Jim Carrey.
You know his birthday was this week?
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it really?
Isn't that really weird timing?
Is it really his birthday?
Yeah, and you know how I just remember that? Because Carrie Elwes wished him a happy birthday on Instagram. Yeah. He was like, happy birthday to my co-star, Jim Carrey. And I'm like, whoa, really? Like,
And then he was like, Holly.
Holly?
Did you remember that in Saw? There's like, before he's on the cell phone, and for whatever reason, his voice completely changes.
Yeah.
He's like, Holly.
Holly?
It's so weird. Anyway, yeah, I watched a bunch of his movies, and I think my opinion on a lot of those films has radically changed just because I'm like, man, that guy is
A powerhouse.
he's so friggin' fun to watch, you know?
He's incredible. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Which is one I brought up a couple episodes ago that I
Yeah.
rewatched.
It's so good.
That might be my favorite of his movies.
The Majestic. Have you seen that?
I have not.
That is another one that's just really, really good. Like, if you get a chance to watch it, I think that was like one of his earliest dramas that he did.
Yeah?
And you're gonna be blown away by who directed it and some
Who
of the
directed it?
co-stars. I'll leave that as a surprise, so that way you're like, no way. All right,
All right.
you'll be pumped.
I have one other movie that I watched that I want
yeah.
to talk about.
What is it?
It's a criterion for all those people listening to us that are sick to death of us saying
Shut
that word.
up. No, that's awesome.
Did you ever watch the Francis Ford Coppola movie Rumblefish?
No, it's on my list to watch because he just talked about it recently, and then some other people were just talking about it.
I think that movie is due for like some type of resurgence.
Yeah.
I know it didn't do so hot when it came out. I don't think people understood it.
But it was like Matt Dillon, right?
Matt Dillon, yeah.
And someone, oh man, I forget who it was. They were just talking about it.
Oh, Diane Lane.
Oh, Diane Lane.
Yeah.
They were just talking about it, Rumblefish. And I was like, oh man, I have to add that to my list.
Dude,
I've never seen it.
You know, it was interesting. I heard him Francis Ford Coppola describe the movie as an art film for teenagers. And then you watch it and you're like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate him because I know people like to make fun of like later Francis Ford Coppola, but like I just don't. Like I feel like that guy's always just doing things, and he's not a boring filmmaker. Like I don't know what to expect from him moment to moment. So I love the fact that guy was just sort of like, you know, like I did like The Godfather, Godfather 2, The Conversation, Apocalypse Now, and he makes these banger of the movies, and then he's just like, I also want to introduce teenagers to like these like really great like art films, foreign films, black and white films, because the movie is in black and white.
Yeah.
And just ease them into it so that it's like they can like worm their way up to cinema that they're not familiar with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like he's giving them like a gateway drug. And the movie itself fucking rocks. Like it is such a great movie. It's one of those movies that's like the running time feels about half of what it is. It just goes by really great. I didn't know that was Diane Lane.
Oh yeah, she was what, like 14? Or
She was
15?
she was like a kid in it.
Yeah.
That's
Superman's mom. Say her name. Say her name. Go ahead. Say it.
Martha. Why'd you say that name? What a weird moment in cinema.
Yeah.
That was
Pretty
like
great.
That was a thing where like even like everybody in the theater collectively got confused.
I wish there was like a audible sigh, like just like, there wasn't, but that would have been great if there was.
Batman's just like, he's like, can you tell people? Could you not tell people about this?
Yeah,
It's really embarrassing.
your mom's name and my mom's name. It's the
Wow,
same.
Martha's a pretty original name.
Whoa.
One thing I'll say about Rumblefish before we move past it, the name Rusty James, lots of fun to say, lots of fun to hear other people say within the film. They say it a lot.
Rusty James.
Rusty James.
Yo, Rusty James. Yeah. Ah, that's cool.
It's a very, it's worth your time.
Is Rusty James the Rumblefish?
No, but the
okay.
Rumblefish are the best actors in the movie.
Yeah. Are they actual fish?
Yeah.
Cool.
They're it's really cool because like the whole movie's in black and white, but the fish are not.
They're in color.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. It sounds like I'm just making up shit for the show
That's serious.
because I like animals.
Yeah,
But no, those fish they're all colorized and they look cool.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the fish I'm pretty sure like looked at the lens at one point and I was like,
He's a bad
you
actor.
ruined the scene, but it's,
What is he doing?
it's just like what's my motivation? And you hear Francis Ford Coppola off to the side, like, shut up and act.
Your motivation, don't look in the camera.
Your motivation, be a fish.
Be a fish, swim.
What region of fish?
Should I swim fast or slow? I don't have a lot of experience.
I don't know what you're asking for, Francis.
I don't know. Do you mean eternally, like internally swim?
Would you like me to wear a funny wig?
No, just be a fish.
But I need to know what kind of fish. Are we beta fish?
Are we beta? No, you're a goldfish. Just act like a goldfish.
Why did Francis leave this in the movie? Those
Yeah.
like real serious
Whole-
scenes happening. It's just an argument with the fish.
That is, oh man, that's so cool. I have to watch that. So that's a Criterion
It is.
collection.
It is.
Yeah,
I bought every copy, so good luck.
Oh god.
Good luck seeing it. And I can't spare a single copy.
I'm gonna add it to my next to buy list. Then because I definitely want to check it out.
And what did you see, Adrian? Oh,
Adrian, what did you?
I forgot.
Yeah,
He's suffering from rabies.
you're just seeing rage right now.
Yeah. I actually just got another message from him.
Oh no.
All caps.
What did it say?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I can't make this out. What is that?
It's just wild mania.
I don't like this guy.
Well, I mean, he could have been good, but I mean, how much can you trust a guy whose hobby is tickling raccoons?
Yeah.
The raccoon does not like to be tickled unless it invites the experience, you know?
Yeah. An above average tickler, not good.
I don't think he's a good tickler.
Yeah.
From what that guy at the bar said.
Although he's just bad at tickling?
Yeah, I think that's his problem. He's not really good at it.
It's like too hard.
Do you remember what that guy at the bar said to him?
Yeah.
Get the fuck off me! And then he swung at him.
Yeah. And I just, do you remember what Adrian said right before he went up to him?
No.
I just go up and show what about. And he went for the tickles. I don't know why he went that way, but he did. He was doing like baby gibberish.
You know how they say that everything happens for a reason?
Yeah.
I think we got off light tonight.
Yeah, I think we made out okay. But let's talk about, okay, so there's some movies that I went to see.
We don't have time to
checked out.
go over any of them.
Man. Fucking Adrian.
Our producers are actually asking us to wrap this up.
Shoot. Okay.
They actually want to start putting in some commercials for Ford.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
By Will Arnett. Hi, you're watching Ford commercials.
As I get older, I'm starting to sound like Batman.
Come on, Michael.
Come on, Michael.
Come on, Michael.
Michael.
Bruce Wayne sounds like a pretty cool guy.
Sounds like a pretty cool guy.
No, but I got to watch the new Wolfman. You didn't see it.
Not yet.
Okay.
Figured.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I actually really like Lee Wanell, and I went in with an open mind, and I was watching it, and I just went, "Oh, this is the Wolf Man. It doesn't. There's a pacing issue, I think, in it, and along with other stuff that it just feels. It just didn't feel like there was a lot of passion in it. Maybe I don't know.
Do you think he just had it was like a rush job?
I think it was rushed
because he's not like a slouch behind the camera.
No,
he's
quite
not good.
Did
you ever see like Upgrade?
No, but I heard about it.
It's awesome.
It's awesome, yeah.
And like his Invisible Man movie, I thought was awesome.
I really like that a lot. And there's like a couple shots in this movie that I'm like, oh, that's a really good shot. Like in use of camera. And
wait, that's weird though. I just think I wanted to add.
Yeah.
Before Adrian was attacked by the family of raccoons.
Yeah.
He said, "Wolfman, I kind of related to that movie."
Oh no. Oh no!
Yeah,
that's basically.
He said
the plot.
he said it was almost like seeing into the future.
Adrian went through the plot of this movie.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh man, I should see it. No, honestly, I saw the trailer for that movie, and I'm telling you, man, I have a really. I mean, I'm like 99% on the money with trailers.
Yeah.
I can see a trailer and I can be like, that is gonna suck. And I remember seeing the trailer for that, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch it. Because I like the filmmaker, but I'm not going to hurt myself. I'll get to it.
Yeah.
It's a I'll get to it movie.
I think that's like it. If you haven't seen Better Man, go see Better Man instead.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It was incredible. I saw it with Pashi, and it was freaking. I want to see it again. To be honest, it was really good. I also watched the Criterion Collection movie. So this movie has been on my list for a long time.
Okay.
And I've heard, watching the Criterion Closet on YouTube, like different actors go in and talk about this movie. They kept bringing this movie up, and I'm like, I'm going to add this to my list.
Are there any apes in it?
There's no apes in this.
Oh, Jesus.
But
just get through this one, audience.
So it's written and directed by Barbara. Hang on, I have to look up her name.
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm sorry. I just want to. Barbara
is it another P.T.
Loden?
Anderson movie?
Yeah, it's P.T. Anderson. Barbara Loden. And she wrote and directed this film.
Okay.
In 1970, but it was shot in 69. It's called Wanda. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God. So, dude, I'm watching this movie, and I see something, and I start to freak out a little bit because I'm like, wait a second, I know, like, did I just read that right? And then as the movie progressed, they filmed that movie here in this area.
Oh, really?
On the bus it says Carbondale.
Okay.
And then at one point
so it's a sad movie.
So she's standing in front of a memorial and it's like Carbondale area, like whatever.
Oh, weird.
And then at one point in the movie, like the plot is like she was married, she ran away from her husband, and then she meets like this thief who wants to rob a bank. And so they're driving downtown, and the downtown area is all Scranton.
Oh, really?
And it blew my mind because it looks like a time capsule like of our area. And so like as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my God, like the parking lot.
That's me.
There's me. No, but the parking garage that's above like Pizza by Papa's and Comics on the Green is being built. So you see like the framework
that's weird.
of it. And you see like the old courthouse, how it used to have like the brick, like that brown brick look around it. And I was just freaking out because I'm like, oh my God. And then the church, they drive by like the church with the that's on Wyoming Ave.
Okay.
And they're driving all around, and you see the Globe store.
Oh, Jesus. Is it like as they're blowing it up?
No. So the Globe store.
Hey, you remember that when that was on TV?
Oh, yeah. So
that was pretty cool.
I was going to talk about that. Yeah. So what's weird is the Globe store it's still standing, right?
Uh-huh.
That it's now used for different offices, like and across the street is the Third National Bank. Well, it used to be. And that's the bank that they go in to rob, like towards the end.
Weird.
So as they're downtown and they're walking, I went, oh my God, that gold. There's a black and gold building with like the gold trim around it. You would know it to see it on Wyoming Ave. And I saw that. I'm like, oh my God, that means the mall would be right there. But it's all like open like it's an open area with like other buildings there, and so it's just really weird.
That is weird.
It's
called Wanda.
It's called Wanda.
I will watch that.
And like a bunch of people.
I want to watch it.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it. So, like, when you watch it, it's actually really incredible. She directed this movie. It's very low budget. She shot it on 16 millimeter, and it has a very grungy look to it. And as you see, you're like, oh, this is our area because there's like all these like coal dumps kind of thing. You know, those like dirt mountains that used to be around in the area. You would be like, oh, this is definitely like a coal mining area. But as you see like other stuff, you're gonna be like, holy shit, I know that area. Like, it's really weird.
Wait, now let me ask you a question. When you say Scranton, are you talking about the Scranton from that show, The Office?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. But the weird thing is, no one talks about how that movie has a tie to our area. That's a really strange thing. And at the end credits, it's like, thanks to like the Scranton police, thanks to like the mayor of Scranton and all this stuff. Yeah. And I'm just like, why is no one talking about this?
I've got a good idea.
Yeah.
You and we're going to paint over the Office mural and we're going to do a Wanda mural.
They should do a Wanda mural.
Yeah.
And it's in the Criterion Collection. Like Pamela Anderson, I think, is the last one that was in. And she picked it, and that was like one of the movies she picked. Yeah, because she's you know how she's doing The Last Showgirl.
Yeah, she's having like an uptick in her career lately.
Yeah, and so it's just really weird. And I thought that was like it distracted me a little bit because they're driving around like downtown Scranton for a little while, and I was like more paying attention to like the exterior stuff at that point, but at the same time, like it's a good movie. Do
you think people in like New York City do that with every movie ever made?
Oh, yeah, they're like, I know that area.
I got bugged there.
Yeah. But no, the weird thing is, so there's really only 2 professional actors in it. The rest are all kind of local people who were just like kind of used or tossed in there. So it's actually pretty interesting. I don't know. But I thought that was really cool that we have like a movie that's from this area, basically, in the Criterion Collection.
Can it be our movie?
It is. But Barbara, she was married to Elia Kazan. So like, freaking crazy. I don't know. Anyways, so I saw that movie. It's awesome. Definitely check it out. And it's going to blow your mind when you see all those areas.
Nah, I think I'm going to go see The Wolfman instead.
No. And then other than that, yeah, that was like, I showed Carl and Robin that, right? And they were like losing it. Cause I was just like, oh, we can watch the movie. And, they're like, oh, just fast forward. And so I was like, okay. So I just showed them like the downtown part and they're like, oh my God, I recognize, oh my God. And they were like losing it. So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then, and I plan on seeing, what do you call it? Better Man again. I think I'm going to try to go see it either tomorrow or Thursday. So.
Yeah, that's like one of my goals for the week.
Directed by the guy who Michael
Greatest
Gracie.
Showman.
Yeah, Greatest Showman. One of our favorites.
Yeah. One of the things that bonded us
to
everyone's chagrin.
Yeah. We were just like, let's go see that again.
EJ and I really like musicals.
Yeah, we do.
We dance sometimes.
And there's some great numbers in Better Man.
Yeah, man. Both. It seems like a movie made for me because it stars an ape.
Yeah.
And there's some good numbers in it, apparently.
Yeah.
Was that everything you saw?
Boy Band is in it.
Cool.
Because Robbie Williams was in Take That first.
Shit.
Yeah. So it was pretty good. But yeah, that's basically all I watched movie-wise.
Okay.
Recently.
Before we jump into the movie, I would like to just do a little something. I saw one other thing.
Yeah.
They brought a crane to my house and got me out. They hooked me up and they brought me to see Macbeth.
Oh, yeah. The play?
The play starring many friends of the show.
Yes, we have a couple of friends in there that have been on this show.
Adrian was actually in the show as well.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Adrian.
Yeah, they had to replace him.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. Anyway, no, we had a friend of the show, El Snow.
El Snow.
Playing a witch.
Witch Messiah.
Witch Messiah. That's funny. It was funny because she's going up there and she and Liba are doing like this really fucking cool looking dance, and I'm looking at Elle's costume and I'm just like, I bet every single piece on that costume means something. Yeah. And then after the show, she started explaining that it did, and I'm like, of course it did. I knew it.
Oh yeah, all right.
Because I was just like, I can't imagine her just putting on like a half-assed witch costume without there being some kind of like meaning to everything.
Yeah.
But the two of them were awesome. Tom Tomeo,
friend of the show.
You might remember him
Sleepaway
from
Camp episode.
No. Slumber Party Massacre.
I was Slumber Party Massacre 2. What is going on with me today?
EJ has dementia.
Oh no.
I think he got bit by Adrian.
Episode 30.
His rabies are coming in.
Right?
Sure, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have dementia straight up.
But no, I think episode 30, Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Mm-hmm.
The Rockabilly one, which is great. And how was Tommy T?
Well, for those of you who listened to that episode, you know that Tommy's got like he's just a big personality, and he's so much fun to listen to and to be around. Here's the thing: I was in a play with Tom once,
right?
And they
Dracula,
right? Dracula Cross Oceans and Time or something. But he played a very like distinguished gentleman in that, so he was a little restrained.
Okay.
Right? It's like because I played a character just like that. There's a bunch of people in that play. You're just sort of like,
you were Jonathan Harker, right?
No, I was Arthur Homewood.
Oh,
the one that Lucy chooses to marry.
Right.
And I had to waltz on stage, and it was embarrassing because I don't know how to dance. You ever see me? I'm like bumping into shit.
Dude, you're
fell over a few things on my way in the door.
You're a good dancer.
No, man.
Yeah,
I'm
got
hurting
the skills.
people. No,
you got skills.
I would like to. I could move pretty well. It's just always leads to disaster.
Yeah.
5 people have died from me attempting to dance.
Damn.
Yeah. Not good.
So how was the show?
I want to talk more about me. No. So I'm watching Tommy, and I'm not just saying this because Tommy's like a friend and I've known him for so long. He just really impressed me. Like I was just like really like stunned by him.
Man, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, he just like, I mean, what I was getting at before, like with being in the play, the play I was in with him, and he was playing kind of like a more, everybody back in that time period was repressed and like he got to really lean into this character and like really like let loose, and it wasn't necessarily like a funny character, which is kind of like what you'd want to see him do because he's so funny.
Yeah,
but he just went for it, and like I was just so impressed by him. And like I was telling you before the show started, one of my complaints about plays is when I'm watching people act and their face forgets to act. They're just sort of saying lines and their face never changes.
Hey man, don't call me out like that.
All right, so the person I'm talking about is EJ Leeson. No, but like Tommy's up there and he understands every single one of those words and what they mean and what the feeling behind all of them are. Because I'm like watching him, like his face is like feeling through everything. It's really neat. Like he's kind of like some people know how to like, I guess like get the Shakespearean dialogue out, but he can make it sing.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's just like, I mean, how many more weekends is it?
So it's this is the last weekend.
So by the time this episode comes out, it's over.
It's gonna be
so
over.
I'm very sorry for every one of you that didn't get to see our friends just do an awesome show.
Yeah, and then Elle has played this role before.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to see what she.
She actually screamed that at the audience.
She looks awesome.
Did I tell you about that?
What?
At one point,
No.
she just screamed that at the audience. She's like, "I've done this before." I was like, "Oh shit, I don't."
Me right here? I've done this before.
I made this costume. And I was like, I was like flipping through
Is this in the
program.
script?
I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, Elle's in this?
Oh, shit.
No.
I think she's going off book.
She's going off book.
She's doing a thing.
No, but how was Elle?
Oh, it's just awesome. Like, I mean, just in the sense that, like, that's another one of those characters I've seen people play before, and they just kind of do, like, a little witch thing. But she and Liba just kind of went for it, like, in a big bad way. They were, like, lots of fun to watch. Like, the dancing and everything was, like, really ominous. And, they're great.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to see them and see Tommy. Everybody in the show. There's other people.
They're the only good ones.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding. Everyone's good.
Everyone was great. But yeah, and then I'm hoping I was gonna go see it over the weekend, but we had a snowstorm. So Tommy messaged me. He was like, hey, they canceled it today. I was like, oh no.
EJ sent me a text message later on that said, thank God I wasn't going anyways.
I wasn't gonna
man,
go.
I have my shoes on.
Oh no, I have my shoes on and everything. Oh
Shit.
man. No,
I guess I'll go watch Wanda.
yeah, I'll just watch this stupid movie called Wanda. No, but I cannot wait to see it this weekend. I'm going this weekend with my friend Pashi and stuff.
Well, do me a favor. When you see it, don't tell me your thoughts on it.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay. Yeah. I'll keep it to myself.
Thank you.
I even afterwards, like when I see the cast, I'm just gonna walk out.
Just look at them like very stoic. They're like, how was it? You're just like,
I'm gonna get a piece of gum. That's what I'm gonna say.
I have to return some videotapes.
I gotta get a piece of gum. What do you think of me in the show? I gotta go. I gotta get some gum. I gotta return some videotapes.
This is the best production of Romeo and Juliet I ever saw.
You know, I didn't think it was as funny as it was supposed to be.
So, like, did you guys just, like, not throw a pie on purpose? Despite me?
Where was that?
I'm something of a one-trick pony. I like when people throw pies, you know?
Yeah.
Like
me too.
every time I go to a play and someone's like, how was the play? I'm like, you didn't throw a pie.
No pies, no shirt, no service. This sucks.
Yeah, I'm like, I just don't believe you when you're not throwing pies. But we should probably get into this fucking movie.
Oh, so today we are covering a movie about rabies. In a sense. No, not really.
This one's for you, Adrian.
This is for you, Adrian. Yo, Adrian. So today we're covering a movie that came out in the early 80s, directed by Brian Yuzna. Yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name.
We're so sorry if you're listening.
But he directed Society, which was a movie David Gonzalez recommended for the show.
Yeah, we covered it with him. You could check out that episode.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you're no friend of this show.
But today we're covering a movie called The Re-Animator.
And it's probably his most known movie.
I would say so, yeah. There's a lot of people that cosplay as Herbert West. Dr. Herbert West, yeah.
He's very, like, iconic in horror.
He is.
It's a really great character.
He's not like... He's like a hero, but he's not a hero at the same time. You know what I mean?
But you completely get him.
Yeah, like you root for him.
Yeah. Victor Frankenstein was kind of a bitch.
Right. Yeah.
He's just like, I'm creating life, and he's like, oh, what was me? I've created life. I have the power of God and to abuse it. So, like, Herbert West is just kind of like killing people if they just inconvenience him mildly.
Right.
But then he'll bring it back just to see what happens to him.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this is kind of a fresh body. Let's see how this works.
Everything is a potential experiment to him.
Yeah, and everything's for science. Like the greater, like he would put his work before his own life.
There's like nothing outside of science for him.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like there's no love, there's no friendship. It's just kind of like almost just give me something to work on.
Right.
I'm gonna cure death.
And he's played
while you guys are all loving each other, hanging out with your friends. He's like, I'm curing death.
And I'm gonna work on curing death and bringing people back.
Yeah. For me, I'm just like, well, okay, I'm just gonna eat this gravy digger's pot pie.
But he's played by the great Jeffrey
Combs.
Combs, who we got to meet way back in, I think it was Monster Mania 4.
Can I tell you my story about him?
Yeah.
So, those of you who are avid listeners, all one of you.
One person out there.
Hi, Leo.
Yeah.
Leo's our only
Leo,
fan.
our dude. Yeah.
Many of you may have heard me talk about the movie Psycho quite a bit. So the first time I saw Re-Animator, and I'm like, that sounds like the Bernard Herrmann score from Psycho.
Yeah.
Like, not even like...
Literally in my notes, I'm like, this doesn't sound familiar at all.
No. It's a thing where it's not even like you hear echoes of it. It's just straight up the
Straight
score.
up. Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
we went to Monster Mania,
Yeah.
and I go into the hotel bathroom, and I'm washing my hands, and then stepping right beside me is Jeffrey Combs. And he's just like, hey. I'm like, hey, can I ask you a question? I'm like, this score in the beginning of Re-Animator, I'm like, it sounds a lot like Psycho. Yes, I know. he's like, it was like an homage. I'm like,
Yeah.
Theft is what you meant to say, sir.
We stole it.
But yeah, it was weird. I was sitting there washing my hands, and then I look over, and he's just like there. He's like, hey. I'm like, oh.
So you stop looking down.
You can put it away, Jeff.
Jeez, buddy.
Jeff, you're at the sink. Put it away.
Put it away.
No,
man.
but he's cool as shit. That guy.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. You know, especially in like the early mid 2000s, he was at like most conventions.
Yeah, and very accessible. I felt like he would love to talk to you about anything.
Yeah.
Because I ended up talking to him about a TV show, mostly the 4400.
Okay.
And then
I remember you and Adam loved that show.
Yeah. In the Dead Zone, we were like all about it.
Yeah, I remember I used to tell you guys like, don't talk about it to me.
Could you cut it out?
Can we just talk about what I want to talk about?
Dead Zone. And so then we talked about that, but then also The Frighteners. Do you remember that with
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox?
Yeah.
His character is insane in that movie. Kind of like Herbert West a little bit, but not really. And he was really excited talking about that character from Frighteners. And
Yeah.
I think it's like one of his best too. Not, obviously I think it goes Herbert West will be his like most iconic role he's ever done.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's just like when you look at him, you're like, oh, the Re-Animator guy.
Right.
And that's not like a bad thing. Like most people would be so lucky to be thought of as any character.
Yeah.
And let alone a fucking really cool one.
And he is like the backbone of that series. You know
And
what I mean?
he understands what it is too.
Yeah.
Because like some of the performances in the movie are kind of like I don't know what you'd call it. It's not
Right.
like bad. It's like stylized.
Yeah, I would say stylized, yeah.
But like he just really makes that character like feel like he belongs in that universe.
Yeah.
He's so perfect.
He's so good.
Like I like sometimes even when people are trying to talk to him, he's just kind of like, yes.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of brushes them off, like
Yeah.
because he sees something more interesting 2 feet away.
Yes, yeah. I love that. Like he's very in his own path.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just like everything else is just blurred out, and it's just kind of like this person is slightly more interesting. I can benefit from this person. That person's going to be something that I exploit later to get something else that I want. Like he's
Exactly.
always planning and working things out. He's just like a really cool character.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever, before we jump in, I don't know if you ever saw any of the sequels.
I've only seen the next one, The Bride.
Bride? Yeah. That one is kind of rad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember, like, watching that and being like, wow, they take a lot of real wild swings in this movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, the end of this movie gets crazy. And then I feel like the sequel is just the ending of that movie, but, like, consistently.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, like, what was it called? Beyond Re-Animator?
Beyond, yeah.
You just watch that one and you're like, yep, that one happened. And it's not terrible.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's just like it wasn't on the same level as the first two.
I might be wrong. I feel like it was like a made for like Sci-Fi Channel movie or something. Like it had like a real like
low budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as good, but it's still like I remember watching it. I've only seen it once. but being like, I just like to see that character.
Yeah.
You know, it's like nice to see him again. But anyway.
But yeah, so I ended up loving, and this was all last minute, like that we picked this movie.
Well,
And-
Adrian got bit.
Yeah, Adrian got bit, and
And we had to like recalibrate the entire
yeah,
episode.
but to rewatch this again, because I haven't watched it probably since like 2006 or something.
2006.
Yeah,
Was
it's
it-
been a long time.
Can I ask you a question? Since we had to switch it to this one,
Yeah,
in retrospect, with what happened to Adrian,
yeah,
was it weird that our first choice was called Getting Rabies?
yeah. It is kind of weird.
2016's.
Foreshadowing. I don't know. It's weird. It's like an omen.
Yeah.
It's an omen.
I think it starred Laura Linney.
Yeah. Oh man, Laura Linney.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last time I watched this was when that DVD came out. You probably remember. It was like the green case and it was like
the
super
highlighter.
thick. Yeah.
Oh, did you get the highlighter with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool
Yeah,
shit.
it was so cool. So
They made like with the DVD. I think it was through Anchor Bay. It was like this box set, and it came with like a highlighter, but it was in the shape of a syringe with the agent in it.
yeah,
And fucking cool looking.
it's so cool.
I injected myself into it.
You're like,
I got it, and I started injecting myself with it, and nothing from the movie happened. I just had to go to the hospital for a while.
yeah, and almost like you had rabies, but
I
not
almost
quite.
died.
That sucks.
The doctor said that if I did die, I deserved it. Because he just said, like, why would you do that to yourself? And I'm like, because I saw the movie.
Because I saw a movie and I wanted to reenact it.
He's
He's
just
like,
he's
"You
like, well,
deserve."
at least you're not one of those stupid kids that jumped off the roof to be like Superman. And I'm like, yeah, I did that too.
I did that too, but I survived.
Yeah, remember me? I'm the kid that broke his leg.
Oh, yeah, that's who I was talking about.
Yeah, then he tried to pull the plug on me. It's real weird.
Yeah. Oh, man. So let's get into the movie. So the film opens at a college in Switzerland where we see the dean of this college walking with another teacher and police. And they break into this classroom and they catch Dr. West, Herbert West, who we were just talking about, Jeffrey Combs, over Dr. Gruber. And we see Dr. Gruber scream and stand up, and his eyes are like gushing blood, and he just lets out this like wild scream, and then eventually just heals over and dies. And we cut to the opening credits where
he was dead.
he was
They're like,
dead.
they're
He
like,
resurrected
you killed
him.
him. And he's like, no, I gave him life.
And it cuts to the credits, and the opening credits where the music does not sound like Psycho at all. No.
And it's cool too because like the credits have like an old like solid bass kind of thing to them.
Dude, they really do.
Yeah.
And then
it's like it reminds me a lot of Vertigo.
yeah, I love like the art direction in the titles. Like it kind of has this anatomy of the inner workings of the brain, and just like even like just anatomy in general, like of the human body. But it's really cool, very colorful, and like I said, yeah, I love the art direction and design in the opening titles. It's kind of rad for early 80s. Now we cut to an ER in Arkansas where we see this lady flatline. I thought it was a guy at first. I don't know why. I was like, oh, this poor guy. I'm like writing my note. And I never knew it was a lady until just recently.
In all fairness, they don't ever do like a close up. It's
No.
just kind of like a
I'm-
body, just like
Yeah, like on the table and they're like doing the thing over. I always thought it was a guy up until I just rewatched it.
Hey,
So-
here's a little note. The building used for this medical school
Yes.
is the same one
From
as
Terminator.
Cyberdyne headquarters in Terminator 2. So awesome.
That's like one of the best scenes. I met him at San Diego Comic-Con.
Did you?
Yeah, I was so pumped because
Did you give him a bomb and you're just like,
I
reenact
should've.
that scene?
Could you just do that again?
He's like, oh my God, get me out of here.
So we see, this young, soon to be a doctor, named Kane. What is his first name? Ken?
What's that?
What's the main character's first name again? Ken?
Dan.
Dan Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Dean Kane, not to be confused with that Superman.
America's Sweetheart.
America's Sweetheart, Dean Kane. So we see that he doesn't want to give up.
If you ever forget his name, just
I know Bruce Abbott, but I always forget his name.
Well, just
I know it's Kane.
Think of Barbara Crampton yelling, Dan! Because she says it like 50 times.
She does.
Because for a second there, I also forgot it, and I heard her in my head, and I'm like, Dan! There it is.
Dan, yeah. So he doesn't want to give up, but eventually the one doctor, she's like, you have to call it. It's over.
He's like, but we just started.
But we just started giving her CPR. So he gets tasked with taking her
She's
to
actually
the
at
morgue.
that hospital known as the mortality mistress.
Yeah, she's a Dr. Death, right?
I don't know what I just said.
Yeah. So he gets tasked with taking the body down to the morgue, and that's when he runs into the dean, Dean Halsey, and meets Herbert West for the first time. And Dr. West meets also Dr. Carl Hill, who Dr. Carl Hill is probably one of the coolest, most interesting characters.
Is it because he's played by John Kerry?
He looks just like John Kerry.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's crazy how much he really does look like John Kerry. But Dr. West meets Carl Hill and calls out Dr. Hill on not only his outdated ideas, right, but also his like plagiarizing ass.
Yeah, he plagiarized, which is weird. His name was
Dr.
Hans
Gruber.
Hans Gruber.
Yeah, Gruber's.
Which is like really weird.
Yeah.
So I love that because like you could just see that Herbert West is really excited to be shitty to this guy.
Yeah.
Like, cause he just sees them. I also like that Hill sees Herbert West and he's really uncomfortable around him because he knows that he knows.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because all these like kids in the school are just stupid and they're just kind of like, this guy's awesome, and he's like, oh, that kid's smart enough to know that I suck.
Yeah.
I also like when he's giving his lecture and he's just doing that pencil snapping thing.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. So then we go where Dan meets up with his girlfriend Megan Halsey, and they're
He calls her Meg at one point. It's just sounds funny. He's like, don't take it out on Meg. Shut up, Meg.
So she's like, no, like he's like tickling her or whatever in the hallway.
That's why Adrian wanted to do this movie.
That's why.
Yeah.
And then it goes, yes. Like the transition's really funny. And they're in bed together. And
what were they doing? I couldn't figure it out.
I don't know. I think he was like high-fiving her.
Over and over again?
Yeah. And then it turns out, we find out that
because it's like a what does she say? She's like,
no,
and then
yes,
yeah, and you're just
yeah.
like, oh,
okay,
interesting choice, Mr.
And then
Yoonsna.
this is when they get interrupted by Rufus the cat.
Rufus the cat, the star of this film.
Star of this film.
I'm telling you, a lot of this plot hangs on this cat.
Yeah. Oh, it does. He's important.
He was actually at the other sink in the bathroom when I was talking to Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, he was washing.
He was washing his little paws.
Yeah, he's like, is this guy bringing up Psycho? Fuck. Every
Fuck
fucking
this
time.
guy.
Every
Jesus.
fucking time
Have
with
some
this.
fucking tact over there. Jesus Christ. This guy with the psycho music.
Oh, you're the first one. You discovered that, buddy. Yeah, you
Jeez.
did.
Oh, look how smart this guy is. Calling out the actor while he's just trying to wash his fucking hands.
And then he dipped his little tail in the sink too.
Yeah.
And just brushed off his face.
He actually had a part in a lot of like Martin Scorsese movies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey, Marty.
Hey, buddy. Did you know the cat in Flow? That's his grandson that did all the motion.
Oh yeah, I did read that. I did read that.
So so anyways, then we see where Dean and Megan, they're talking, and we find out what's his name? Dan Kane.
Dean Kane. Yes.
Dean Kane is talking with Megan when we find out her dad is actually the dean of the school, Dean Halsey, And they also get interrupted by Herbert West, who knocks at the door, and he's looking to rent a room from Dan.
So before we get into this stuff, there's a lot to do in this movie about people not wanting Megan's father to find out that she's like with somebody.
Yeah.
But she's clearly a grown woman.
She's got to be in like her 20s, right? If they're in
mid.
med school.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're all just kind of like, well, my dad can't find out. I'm like, was this part written for like a 14-year-old or something?
It's like, ooh, I don't want my dad to
If he
know.
finds out we're together, they're going to boot you out of medical school. I'm like, I don't think they can do that.
I can't get ice cream. What if my dad finds out? I'm not allowed to get wet.
Now, whoa.
Oh, no, I meant like,
Oh, my
like
God.
a kick. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So during one class, so Herbert, has the cash. He pulls it out, and Dan is like, okay, yeah, he sounds like a good guy. And so during one class, Dr. Carl Hill is showing how to work
Does
a
Dan
bone saw.
own that building?
Oh, I don't know, because there's like a basement, so it's like an apartment, I guess, like a room for rent. And then downstairs, there's a basement.
He lives there
Yeah.
as like a student. So you pay the student, not the guy who owns the building?
I don't know.
I was very confused by that.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, because I just assumed like it was Dan's place, right?
But like he's sitting there saying like oh, like if you pull away my scholarship, well, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm like, so this poor college student also is like a landlord?
Yeah. I
was very confused by
Yeah,
that.
that's really weird. I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. That's weird.
Hey, Brian Yunza, write to us.
Yeah.
At frequelpodcast@gmail.com.
Let us know.
Or just continue being awesome and just disregard.
Yeah, just do your thing, too.
Yeah, you're doing great, man.
Yeah. During one class, Dr. Carl Hill is showing how to work a bone saw and opens up a skull. And
did you like
to
that
chat
line?
about the brain a little bit.
Did you like that line when he started the bone saw and he's like, "Bone saw's ready.
I got you for 3 minutes." I did like that.
Yeah, that line was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was weird that they just had Randy Savage play that character for just like a second.
Bone saw's ready. Yeah.
You're a fraud.
So then, Dr. Hill is like talking about brain death as well, and Herbert West hates this like class so much, like just Dr. Hill in general, I feel like, and he keeps snapping his pencils in half over and over. And
you just get the sense that like he didn't take the class to learn anything.
No,
I
I
think
think
he
it's
literally
just
went there to call him out as being a fraud.
Yeah,
Like
and antagonize him.
Yeah, like he enrolled into the school to humiliate this man.
And Dr. Hill's like, "Why don't we get you a pen?" Because every time he like talks, he would just like, yeah. And he openly calls out King for being wrong too. He's like, "I think you're wrong about that. Brain death,
6 to 12 minutes.
6 to 12 minutes."
I'm John Kerry.
That night, Dr. Hill meets with Dean Halsey at home, and they're celebrating a new grant and stuff. And we see like Dr. Hill's kind of weird with Megan a little. A lot. Dr. Hill is probably what, like maybe 50?
He's got to be on the other side of 50.
Yeah, like 50s, right? And Megan's like 20-ish, right? And
but it's weird though, because like this guy's fixation on her goes back earlier, because it says something. He has like a newspaper clipping where it's like Megan Halsey wins sophomore prom something. So it was like some kind of high school award.
Yeah, we'll get to that like later.
We're gonna get there,
but
this guy is
Dr. Hill is at this point you're just like, oh, that's a little weird, because he's kind of like flirty with her, and you're like,
he like leers at her and stuff.
He's
like, why don't you study here?
Yeah. He's like, "You're dating Dan, aren't you? That Dan Kane guy?
Piece of shit.
That fucking piece of shit." So that's when Dan shows up to pick up Megan. they try to meet up and like study a little bit, and Dan's like, "Hey, he tries to make a little move on her, like to kiss her.
Oh wait, before like they kiss and everything and they leave because Dan picks her up.
Yeah,
At the
while
they're having dinner.
Halsey's house. Yeah,
And like Dr. Hill says something like he's like oh, to Megan, the girl that everyone becomes obsessed with at some point. I forget what the line is, but
Yeah,
he just basically says he's like the object of everybody's obsession.
desire.
And he's just like, no, use the word obsession.
Yeah.
He's just like staring at her, and I'm just like, and she has like that great performance too, Barbara Crampton. She's just kind of like, great.
Great, thanks.
Why does this guy have to keep coming over for dinner, Dad?
She's probably already weirded out by him, for sure. But yeah, Dan and her are back at Dan's apartment, and he tries to kiss her, and she's like, no, we have to study. And then she starts to bring up about Herbert West being like a little on the creepy side. She's like, don't you get creeped out? Like, you never see him come and go. Like, he just does his own thing, and doesn't that weird you out? And Dan's like, nah, I don't really care.
See, she's smart because she trusts the cat.
Yeah.
She's like, Rufus thinks he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, Rufus is like onto him. He, doesn't like him.
He's got like he's taking tabs on him.
Right.
Like Rufus has notebooks filled with all these different facts about him. He's following him around.
Yeah, it's just he has like a little notebook.
Yeah.
And he keeps checking off stuff.
And then like he got too close. That's actually the backstory to that. To what happens next.
Yeah. So at one point she's like, "Wait, where is Rufus? Like, I haven't seen him in a bit." And Dan's like, "Oh, that fat cat. He's just hanging around." And I'm like, "You would never call your cats fat. That's
You
not nice."
body shaming.
Yeah. Don't do that to Rufus. So they go
Rufus
around.
is just like, hey,
what the hell? So they go around. They're looking around the apartment for Rufus, and that's when Megan goes into Dr. West's room, Herbert West's room, and finds a cat in the refrigerator. And
this is the point in the movie where I have to say to myself, it's just a movie.
Yeah.
Just calm down. Because I don't like seeing dead cats in movies. But thankfully, this thing doesn't look anything like a cat when you see it up close.
No, yeah. It looks like I don't even know. It doesn't even look like a stuffed animal.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a stuffed animal that you'd buy at like Toys R Us.
No, the Dollar Tree. Let's be honest.
Dollar Tree Cat. That'd be a great movie, Dollar Tree Cat.
Dollar Tree Cat. Oh my God. And it's a horror film?
Or a coming-of-age drama where a cat works at a register at a dollar store.
Ooh, that's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking like horror, like a little kid goes in there, buys this cat, like this stuffed animal cat.
Go on.
Then it becomes real
Ooh,
at
so it's
night.
actually like a stuffed animal. See, I was picturing like the dollar store cat actually being like a cat working the register, but you're talking about like a stuffed animal cat that's haunted.
Right, yeah.
Okay,
so
keep going.
She goes and she buys it from the Dollar Tree, right? She takes it home, and at night, it comes to life. But here's the catch. It's bloodthirsty.
Ooh.
So she has to feed it like Uncle Frank, and, like she has to feed him blood. So this little girl and this cat are going around murdering people so it could feed. And it's like, then I could play with you during the day if you keep bringing me blood. What do you think, Dollar Tree Cat?
Here's all my money. Just take it.
We just came up with that on the spot. That's crazy.
I've got a good idea for the poster.
Yeah.
Hear me out. So, the stuffed animal,
Yeah.
$1.03.
Oh.
So, wait. The stuffed animal, $1 The curse on the house.
On the house. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Wait.
Wait.
One last thing about
Dollar Tree Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, whenever the cat kills somebody,
one of our listeners, if you're really good at designing a poster, can you make a poster for Dollar Tree Cat?
yes, please make the Dollar Tree Cat poster for us because we say things and quickly just forget about them.
Yeah.
But Dollar Tree Cat, make the poster. Here's something I need in the movie. If I'm going to give you all my money to make this movie, Jay.
Yeah.
Whenever the cat kills somebody, he buries them in a litter box.
Oh my God. Yes.
And The kid finds it, right? Because there's a kid, right? The kid gets the little stuffed animal.
one that bought it? Yeah.
So the he doesn't know at this point, right? At first?
It's a girl.
It's a girl?
Yeah.
Okay, so the little girl, she's like sitting there, and the mom's like,
She
you have to
doesn't know
clean the
about
litter box.
Yeah.
And she's like, but it's a stuffed animal. Why does it have a litter box? And she's like, shut up and go clean the litter box. So she's like, okay. And then she goes and she starts cleaning out the litter box, and then you see like a foot.
Oh, my God. You know what would be good? If she had a sibling, and the sibling's creeped out by the cat, and he's the one that discovers the bones in the kitty litter box.
All right.
Right?
It's good.
Dollar Tree cat.
This summer, Dollar Tree cat.
Meow. I tried to do a creepy meow. I think it came out. Yours is so good. That's it, man. You got
Dollar
the money
Tree cat is gonna be a box office juggernaut.
Hell yeah.
Hey guys, whoever buys this movie, I'm talking to you studios out there. Just make sure you release it in October.
Yeah, and we could have Matthew Rinaldi do the score.
Okay.
And then Adam could do an original song for it.
Uh-huh.
And then we have Chris Alou on there somehow, right?
It would just like stick our friends in there.
Yeah. It's nepotism.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a thing. Yeah, so Dollar Tree cat, to be looking forward to that. And if anybody out there has got some sort of interest in being creative, just give us a poster. Give us a poster design. We'll put it up on the website.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we'll mock it. I mean,
make fun of it. Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll mock it. No, we'll make fun of it.
Yeah. You're gonna be so sorry that you ever listened to the show.
So, anyways, as they find this cat, that's when Herbert
When they find the
arrives.
Dollar Tree cat. Come on.
The Dollar Tree cat. Dollar Tree Rufus. They find him, and that's when they go to, that's when Herbert arrives, right? He shows up, and he's like, what are you doing in my room? And they're like, why is Rufus in your refrigerator? He's like, oh, I found him dead, but I was trying to preserve him. I didn't tell you about it because I didn't see you, so I just put him in the refrigerator. And it doesn't seem like, at this point, I would say as an audience member, you're really unsure if he did or didn't kill the cat. It's like, is he telling the truth?
No, he definitely killed that cat.
Yeah.
There was never a point when I was watching it where I was like, that guy didn't kill that cat.
Because I was like, maybe he's telling the truth. I don't know.
He's like, he got his head stuck in a jar.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? That's what you're the smartest guy in the world, and that's what you come up with?
He's like, you called him a fat cat. He was stuck his head in a peanut butter jar.
You called him fat. He took his own life.
So, anyways, he's like, I put him in the refrigerator to preserve him. So then, Megan's like kind of creeped out, right, and kind of leaves.
I like when she sees Rufus in the fridge, and she's like, Rufus, it's him, it's him,
it's him. Dan.
Something about her saying it's him, referring to the cat, that made me laugh really hard.
Yeah,
it's him.
So that night, Dan Kane wakes up hearing strange sounds coming from the basement, and he sees like an animal attacking Herbert West.
Wait. When he goes into the basement, he pummels through the door, and then proceeds to fall down the stairs, and the camera, some sort of brilliant thing, follows him as he falls down the stairs. But I think the camera operator is being attacked by bees at the time, because the camera's just whipping around and he's falling down the stairs. It made me laugh so hard before.
Do you think the director of The Bourne Identity was like, I need to do that?
I'm gonna make that a thing. It's not gonna annoy anyone.
So he sees this animal attacking Herbert West, and of course we know what the animal is. It's Rufus the cat.
Dollar Tree cat.
And Ken grabs it and then kind of kills the cat, but he doesn't realize. He grabs it and throws it against the wall, which it dies. And that's when he looks close and he sees it's Rufus, and he's like, what the hell, right? And Wes tells Kane that he conquered brain death and has been pretty much bringing back small animals. But when he does, they are like filled with rage, almost like a rabies kind of thing, or rage virus, right? And but he is hoping at one point, now that he's here, to do some human trials in the morgue. And Kane doesn't believe it at first. He's like, no.
He lowered his body temperature and slowed down his heart rate. He's like, you're just fucking with me.
Yeah. And that's when he's like, here, I'll bring him back. You pretty much broke his back, so he's not going to be able to like do anything. And I'll bring him back again. So he gets his serum, like the, what does he call it?
Reagent.
Yeah. And he pretty much sticks it in to like the brain of Rufus. And of course, Rufus comes back to life. And it proves that his like reagent actually works. It's like, and Dan is like blown away by this. He's
How
like,
much of a disappointing thing would it be if that didn't work? The movie just ended.
Yeah, it's just like,
it's like he's like, I've conquered death. Watch, and then nothing happens, and it's like, oh, I guess I didn't.
Man, you didn't conquer shit.
The end.
Man, you didn't conquer anything. So Kane tells Dean Halsey, right? And so he goes to the dean, and he's like, yeah, I saw it with my own eyes. Herbert West brought my cat back from the dead.
And that dean must have been having the worst day of his life before this kid walked in, because he goes really hard on him. He's just like, hey, this guy conquered death. And he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take away your scholarship. I'm going to punch you in the face, kill your family. Like, he just like keeps like piling it on this kid for literally just saying, hey, I saw the most miraculous thing ever. You should check it out.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you've gone insane. Look at you. Stay away from my daughter.
Yeah, stay away from my daughter.
I want a 45-page apology.
Yeah.
You know what else I'm going to do? Like, he keeps piling it on.
Yeah. And he literally gives him, like, the most severe punishments ever.
For just an observation.
For just bringing something up, right? Like, I saw this happen. And it's
with
like,
my own eyes, a credible person who's in your medical school. You don't even want to check it out.
You don't even care? Like, you're not even curious about this? Like, that's crazy.
EJ, if you did that thing where you were like, hey, I found out that like hot chocolate and like soda, well, if you pour the hot chocolate in the soda, it overflows. If you told me that you did that, I'd want to see it. This fucking guy conquered death, and this guy's just like, no time.
Yeah.
You're quite mad, and I'm going to have you locked up.
You know what? I don't have time for that.
By the way, that hot chocolate and soda thing, I had a friend do that once when I was 15, and it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it'll just start spilling over. It's like a
really?
volcano, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was real crazy because we were like 15 at the time.
Yeah.
He was like, it'd be real fucking up. I'm gonna just start drinking it, and then he did.
And then he just started to explode.
He did. We lost him that night.
So Ken.
R.I.P.
So we see where Ken then sneaks Herbert West into the morgue. He pretends he's like a dead body, and he is on the slab, and he's like pushing him in past security. And they look for a corpse to run an experiment on before they both get kicked out. And they try to reanimate this one young guy in his 20s. And they...
I like when they're like body shopping.
Yeah, they're like,
this guy
he's
was burned in a
burned.
fire.
Yeah.
This guy shot in the face or something.
Yeah, like... And so they inject him, and he ups the dosage because of how long he's been dead. And meanwhile, upstairs, the dean and Megan Halsey show up to the hospital.
And this guy is still on Dan.
Yeah, he's like, where's Dan? We got to get him out of here. That motherfucker, right? And Megan's like, come on, Dad, like, chill a little bit, right? But not really. Like, she's like, I don't know, Dad. Are you thinking, like, this is a good idea?
Yeah, she's being real sensible about it. She's just like, Dad, what's your problem?
Yeah. But meanwhile, downstairs, the corpse that they injected reanimates and is super violent. And we see where it's just like tossing Ken and Dr. West around like Buzz and Bonesaw would do to Spider-Man. But Dean Halsey ends up showing up downstairs, and that corpse, this naked corpse, just like beats Dean Halsey to death. Like he's just like pushing his head against the wall, choking him. And that's when Herbert steps up. He's like, Dan, move out of the way. And he has like the buzzsaw, and he just like sticks it right through the chest of the corpse and kills it. Great scene.
It's a great scene because like that reanimated body, when it's like pummeling Dean Halsey.
Yeah.
At one point, he bites his fucking fingers off.
Oh yeah, bites his fingers off.
He's just like screaming. And what's really weird is that like Dean Halsey, for some reason, when he starts to become like a corpse, right? When they like reanimate him,
yeah,
he starts looking like Archie Bunker.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Herbert West, kills the corpse and stuff, and he's like, Dan, this is our opportunity. He's fresh, like he literally just died, and we could help him, like bring him back, right?
It's like Pet Cemetery rules.
Oh yeah,
It
really
reminds
is.
me of that, where they're like, well, no, he just died, so it's going to be different.
It's gonna be
I
different.
waited too long with this one. It's like you're just like trying to rationalize it to yourself. Like,
So he downsizes the dosage, and Herbert, injects Dean Halsey, and he's like, if we act fast enough, we can do this because of the freshness of the dead body, right? And so they inject him, and he begins to come back to life, and that's when Megan and the security guard show up, and Herbert pins everything on Dean. Like the Dean's crazy, and he looks like Archie Bunker. And he's
you
like,
see it, right?
Yeah. He's like, stifle yourself, Herbert. So stifle yourself. And we see where Herbert West actually pins everything on the Dean. He's like, the Dean came down. He was crazy. He, destroyed this body over here, beat us up. And now he's just over there in the corner, like REM, just hanging out, just losing his mind.
He throws that story together pretty quick.
He did.
It's quick on his toes.
And we see where Dean Halsey is like a little more with it than the other corpse, because it kind of listens a little bit, but it's also crazy. Like, so like Dean Halsey is like sitting on the floor, just like kind of like rocking back and forth, like losing its mind. And then we cut, and we see that Halsey is now in a straitjacket in the care of Dr. Hill, and he's locked up. And
Arkham Asylum, I guess.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum. And Dr. Hill wants Megan to sign her father over to him so he can run experiments and see what happened to her father. And
she's like, do you really need to do that?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I guess.
He's like, sign him over, And then we see where Ken goes to chat with Megan and tells her the truth, that her father is really dead. He's like, he's not alive.
Did you say Ken?
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
You're okay.
Yeah. So then we see where Dr. Hill goes to chat with Herbert West about Halsey, and Hill knows that Halsey is really dead. Like, he did enough experiments to know, oh, this guy is actually dead. He's not alive. And he's like, here, if you will make a deal, you give me your discovery, and you can walk away from all of this, And he's trying to blackmail Herbert West for what really happened. Meanwhile, Ken and Megan go to see the father. Oh my God, I keep saying it. Dan Kane. I think I'm meant to write Kane, and I keep writing.
Can I be honest with you? He looks like he could be named Ken.
Yeah, he really does.
He does kind of have like a...
Bruce Abbott is a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So meanwhile, they go to see the father, and they see that, like, his condition is not great. And as Hill is checking out, Dr. West's experiment and, like, the reagent and stuff, that's when West picks up a shovel and like hits him over the head.
Yeah, because he's basically saying like, I can basically blame all of this shit on you and just put you in jail. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take credit for your work because that's his thing.
He's a plagiar. Yeah, he plagiarizes all the time.
He doesn't have the ability to create, so he steals.
He's a plagiarizing son of a bitch.
Yeah, and so like you just that's where you basically signed your death warrant with Herbert West. You're like, I'm taking your work. He's like, oh yeah, sure. You are. See how that goes.
So West kills him and ends up decapitating Hill.
No hesitation.
No, like he literally kicks the shovel down and like decapitates him.
Yeah, a few episodes back we were talking with Casey Clocker about Mrs. Deagle and Gremlins.
Yeah.
And how you can kind of like understand her character, so she's the most likable.
Right.
For him.
Yeah.
But like, I've kind of feel that way about Herbert West. Like, he is just perfectly who he is.
Yeah.
You know?
He really is like, it's science or nothing. You know? Yeah.
He's like, you want to steal my work? I'm going to cut your head off.
I'll fucking kill you.
And then like, what's really funny is that like, he takes the head.
Yeah. And on a whim.
Go ahead.
No, on a whim, he's like, I'm going to inject Dr. Hill's head.
Well, did you notice
and the body.
Did you notice though? Because this is the first time I ever really noticed this. He takes the head and he puts it in like a dish.
Yeah.
Right. And it keeps falling over, so it's kind of funny. But then he takes one of those. I forget what they're called, but it's like if you're like at a restaurant or something, you like stick the tickets on it.
Oh yeah.
Those little like that little spike thing. So then he just kind of goes. He's like, oh okay, jams the head on it, and then he just kind of stares at it. Then you see it on his face. He makes the decision to reanimate it. So initially, he was just doing that.
Right. Yeah.
He wasn't going to bring it back at that point because then he's just kind of like, oh, wait, I know I haven't done this on parts yet.
Yeah.
And it's just like a really funny thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just
it's
decapitates
a really
man.
funny...
He was just going to stare at his head.
Yeah. So he injects the head and the body, and Hill comes back to life. And also the head like comes back to life, like it opens its eyes and it talks like, oh no, and
for whatever reason it's not crazy like all the other bodies.
Yeah, it's actually has its sanity. It's not really like insane. Yeah, and maybe because it's how fresh. I have no idea.
I think it's just that the plot calls for him to be.
Yeah.
I think that's a case of the plot said so.
And you know what's really funny is one of our earliest designs for Frequels is literally it was I don't know if do you remember this?
I still have it.
Yeah, it's it was going to be a picture of me, you, and Vince. Vince had like a Dr. Hill thing going on where the body was like carrying the head around, but then our heads were in the dishpan.
And there were little microphones.
And there's like microphones around us.
Hey, if anybody wants to draw that or do something with that, I'll send you the image.
Yeah.
I would like to see that. It was supposed to be in the style of like an EC comic.
Yeah,
because cool.
I had like on the side. It was funny because we're like, oh, what can we do? And I remember immediately, you were like, can we do like a Re-Animator kind of thing? I think you were like, you threw that out there. And
you drew it, and I'm like, yep, just like that.
Just like that, yeah. And then on the side, it had like the different like little bubbles of like horror, terror, like, you know what I mean? And then the top, it said Frequels, and like the little comic like price on the side, Raven View logo for Raven View comics and stuff.
Brian Yunza sued us immediately.
Yeah. No, but
cease and desist.
But originally that was going to be like our logo or something, but then but no, I think I still have that picture too. Like I know I gave you
a copy of it.
Yeah, I think I took a picture of it, but then I gave you the actual copy.
We should actually get that made. That'd be cool.
That's a cool T-shirt.
Yeah,
we should do that.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we ended up doing. You went to Jess Mayoni, and who made our other like what we have now, our Frequels logo, and we're like, oh yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But did you say it was probably like too much going on for like
for like a logo. Well,
yeah.
Then like I mean I knew like she and I had talked about it, and I was just kind of like saying what I wanted like the colors to be and like the way like the letters were.
Yeah.
And then she sent me the logo, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna use that instead.
Yeah, that's great. That's kind of
rad.
awesome.
Yeah.
But it is a cool T-shirt. We're gonna try. Maybe we'll try to make that. So as West is kind of like looking at the head of Hill, the body gets up and knocks him out from behind. And
there's a big missed opportunity for comedy with that body and no head. I wish it was just like bumping into shit. Like he's like, "Come to me," and then like it's just like falling over tables,
like Chucky. Yeah, grab him. You know, like in Child's Play. Yeah. yeah.
But I would have liked to have seen that body just like fall over a table and start smashing beakers and shit. And like you see the head, he's just sighing. He's like, "Oh, God damn it."
Burns his hand on a Bunsen. so at Hill's,
it's just like it's like out of frame for a second,
yeah,
and then you just see it run by on fire, like a wide.
And Herbert West is just there, like listening, like Stan Lee's cameo in Amazing Spider-Man. He's just like listening to music. But at Hill's office, Ken finds a creepy folder.
God damn it,
Dan! Fuck. Dan. He finds a creepy folder that shows Hill has this like thing for Megan. It's like a lock of her hair.
Which I want to know how he got that.
Maybe he like.
Did you think she would have noticed? Like,
yeah, it was weird. Yeah, I maybe like she went and got her hair cut, and he went and took it.
You think he put like a wig on?
I don't know.
Like, hello, I'm your hairdresser today. I just pictured him like digging through the shower drain.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
But it's like a lock of hair. I think there had to have been a point when she was just like brushing her hair and she realized that a huge chunk of it was missing.
What's going on? Maybe she had long hair and then he cut it and then he's like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna keep that." And she's like, "I gotta cut my hair. It's all uneven." I don't know, but he has.
That's
like
when
this,
there's like that newspaper clipping where it's like Megan Halsey wins.
Yeah, sophomore.
Yeah, it's like it's some kind of like a dance queen type of thing.
Yeah.
And you're just like, gross, because when she was in high school, he would have been like in his 40s.
Yeah, and then there's like clothing in there. There's like a part of a dress or something.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's a very strange folder.
Yeah.
But
it's a really incriminating thing to just leave around your office.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to lock this. No one's going to look in here.
There's a funny joke in The Simpsons. Did you ever see the monorail episode?
No.
So there's like... It's the greatest thing ever. Phil Hartman plays like the Music Man, essentially.
I love him.
Yeah, he's amazing. But he sells them this monorail that's like faulty and just falls apart. It's made real cheap.
Yeah.
And basically there's like a point where Marge starts putting together that something's off with it. So she goes into his office and she sees this notebook on his desk and she opens it up. And it's just all these like drawings of like the monorail like on fire and people inside screaming, and then him like in a little stick figure body with big bags of money in his hand, with a big smile on his face. And then, you know, he's like, "How much of that did you see?" Because he comes up behind her and she's like, "No, not much." And he's like, "Oh, okay, good." And then she leaves. He's like, "I've really got to stop leaving this thing laying around."
Yeah. That's basically Dr. Hill's folder.
Yeah. It's just like, maybe I shouldn't have this in my professional office setting.
Yeah. It's very incriminating and creepy. But yeah, so we see where Dan finds it, and Hill definitely has like a weird obsession for Megan.
What if Dan like put the lock of hair in his pocket?
Oh yeah, he keeps it. He just like keeps all this stuff. He's like, "Oh,
Megan's like, "What'd you find?" He's like, "Nothing."
No, nothing. Just like an empty folder. He sure likes Manila. That's weird, right? And they also discover that Hill actually lobotomized Megan's father, the dean. And
lobotomy. That's how you find out.
So when Herbert awakes, he sees that Hill pretty much took all of his research, all of his files on the reagent and stuff, and or Herbert's discovery, and also he took like the files on the serum basically, and
Except
that's
for his upstairs stuff.
yeah.
Because he's like, oh, I took everything except the stuff upstairs. I'm like, well, you haven't been upstairs to verify that.
Yeah.
Why do you know that?
So we see where Dan and Herbert discuss Hill, and I love when Herbert just laughs at the weird Megan file. Because he's like, yeah, and he has like a really strange file on Megan. He goes, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's so like dismissive, but like
because it's just
like
leaning
he
into
would.
the fact that he's just kind of like a hack. He's like a pathetic. Freak.
Yeah, like pathetic. Yeah, and I think he like laughs because it's like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's really funny. But back at Dr. Hill's, he injects more serum and he gets some more blood too from his refrigerator. And at first I was like, oh, this is really funny. Because, like, you see the body, like, scrambling around and it opens the refrigerator, just grabs it. And it's so, like, uneven and weird. Like, the body. Like,
But again,
works.
it would have been really funny if he just kept, like, reaching into the fridge and bringing the wrong stuff over.
Yeah. And it's just like...
He's like, bring me blood. And then, he,
blood.
like, turns around. He's got, like, an orange juice in his hand. He's like, no, blood. And he goes down. There's, like a rotisserie chicken in his hand.
But, yeah, so then he has more blood, and it's keeping, like, the brain alive, I guess. Like, it's absorbing the blood.
It's unclear what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. But then we get this hilarious scene where Hill ends up, not this part, but like Hill pretty much convinces the father, the dean, to work for him, and
well, he like lobotomizes him. Like,
he lobotomizes him.
He talks about it where it's like some sort of a new thing that he just whipped together.
Yeah,
he's like, I can make people
follow me.
Yeah, like I can control them, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
You just figured that out?
Yeah. So then we see where Dr. Hill sneaks into the morgue. Now, this part is actually hilarious because Dr. Hill is wearing like scrubs, right? And he has like a little surgical mask. But in the body, basically the body is wearing all of this. And the head is in a bag, like Dr. Hill's head. And instead of putting his own head on top, he grabbed like a medical mannequin head and put it where his head should be instead, and it looks so fake and weird. And why hasn't anyone cosplayed as that or did? Like,
I don't know. That's a good question.
It's such a good costume idea.
It is weird though that like he has like a fully functional head.
Yeah,
and he went for the thing that looks remarkably fake.
Yeah, because it's like
he's not a very smart guy for such a renowned doctor.
Well, he plagiarizes,
I guess.
He got that's called Muppet Man, and he basically pulled a Muppet Man, which he probably stole from the Muppets. Fuck.
Shit.
So he sneaks into the morgue, and I like, again, the head is just really, it's like a half skull, half mannequin head.
Yeah.
It's really weird. So doesn't
he pass the security guard?
Yeah, and the guard's like, oh, do you need, like, is that you, Dr. Hill? And he goes, yes, of course it is. You know, like screaming from the bag, and he's like, okay, whatever, break time.
You really gotta applaud a man who is clearly reading pornography.
It's like
hallway.
Boudoir or something.
Yeah, he's just like stretched out reading porn in the school hallway.
And we see where Dan goes to Megan. I mean, Ken. He goes to Megan's, and he tells her he was worried about her, right? He's like, and you could do better than me. I'm going to, like, you deserve to get out of here. And she's like, I know. But then you see, like, they're about to kiss, and that's when her dad breaks through the door, And
he made a Kool-Aid Man entrance.
yeah, he's like, oh yeah, and then bursts through, and he like knocks out Dan. Fucking
Yay, man,
shit.
you're getting it.
Yeah, and he takes the daughter to the morgue for Dr. Hill. So then we see where Dr. Hill has Megan on the medical slab to experiment on her. And
this is a weirdly iconic scene.
Yes.
It's like the scene that this movie is most known for, and it is fucking so weird.
It's a weird scene. So
it's so iconic that in the movie American Beauty, they're like talking about it and like laughing about it.
Yeah. And it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable.
It's very strange.
Yeah. So there's like this thing that happens where she's thrown onto the table and she's knocked out, and we see like the body like rip off her clothes, and she's like,
or like her grandma nightgown,
right? And
it's like a Little House on the Prairie nightgown.
Yeah, it is.
It's a weird choice.
And so
that jumped out at me before he came and picked her up.
Yeah,
I was like looking at him like, what's up with that
going
nightgown?
on that?
I don't know.
You have like an Ebenezer Scrooge nightgown.
Yeah, like she should be like carrying like a candle around
and have a
like a lantern cap, or something. A little sleeping cap.
So she gets it ripped off, and the Dr. Hill's body is like holding the head, and at one point is like feeling up, Megan, and because she's like knocked out, and he's like touching her chest, right? No. And it's really awkward and weird, and I do not like the scene at all.
It's very, very weird.
Yeah. And then he like has the head like kind of like trying to kiss her and stuff, and eventually like walks around, and it's just a really weird scene. But luckily,
what was about to happen, EJ?
I think he was about to.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to finish it. If you've seen this movie, you know what we're talking about.
Gross,
it's very strange. I will say though, Barbara Crampton, way to be fearless.
Yeah,
that's a really. I imagine it must be an incredibly uncomfortable scene to film, because it's like, we're watching the scene itself, but there's like crew, there's lights on you. It's got to be the most miserable experience, but she's a pro. And Barbara Crampton in general, she pops up in a lot of horror films. She's like a scream queen of sorts.
Yeah.
And I'm always happy to see her in things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then we cut over to Dr. West wakes up Ken, and they rush to the morgue.
Who?
Dan. So as they rush over, that's when Megan wakes up to Dr. Hill just being a fucking creep, right? And Herbert West interrupts Hill, and I love how Herbert like basically roasts like Dr. Hill, like Jeff Ross from Comedy Central. And Hill has been really busy, because at one point he's like, yep, I lobotomized a bunch of the corpses in the morgue and reanimated them, and they all come to life. And that's when the dean kind of hears Megan screaming, and it gives off like a trigger to where he understands like, oh, that's my daughter screaming, and I need to help my daughter.
Yeah, because like there's like little bits of humanity that come through periodically.
Yeah. And so we see where the dean grabs Dr. Hill's head, and he just starts to like squish it, like, like push it together. And then meanwhile, Herbert West ODs Hill's body. He's like, I'm gonna OD the body, like overdose the body.
Yeah, he's like overdrive or some
overdose.
Overdose.
So he like grabs 2 of the needles and he like injects it into the body, and the body falls down, but the body starts to reanimate in a different way, where the intestines are shooting out, and like they grab Herbert and like start wrapping around his legs. And that's when Dan and Megan like fight their way out of there. And we see at one point they get to the elevator, but one of the reanimated corpses starts to strangle Megan, and she dies. And we see where Dan tries to give her CPR, but it doesn't work, and the doctors call it. And we see where the movie ends with him trying to resurrect her with Dr. West's, like the remaining reagent. And I love that West, he stays behind, like he sacrifices himself basically. And he's like, take my research. And he throws like the bag. Like, so his like, instead of like self-preservation, he's more, again, like focused on the science is number one.
I also feel like he doesn't plan on dying.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Right, but like he is getting sucked into the intestines and stuff, and he's like, "Here, my research," and he throws it, and we see where he's like getting pulled into all the like dead bodies and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the movie ends with Dan trying to inject the serum into Megan, and it freezes. And the credits start to roll, and then you hear like the scream.
Well, it's cool because like you see, like it looks like
the little green.
Yeah, and you see like it kind of get injected.
Yeah,
and then you hear their scream.
Yeah, it's really cool looking. Like just that's such a cool artistic choice, and it also like a good way to like the way we meet the character, kind of has like a bookend where how we met the character is where it ends for the character too.
Yeah.
Where he doesn't give up. Like he gave up the first time, but he doesn't give up the second time.
Which, kind of goes back to what that doctor said to him. She's like, a good doctor knows when to quit.
Yes. Yeah.
A good doctor knows when like the fight is over. And then it's like he's just bringing her back for, selfish reasons.
Right. He loves her. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, you know what you're bringing her into. Like, you basically see what every single one of these people come back as, and it's just like you're just doing that selfishly.
Yeah.
One quick thing. I know, like, we were giving Brian Yuza a lot of credit for this movie. I do need to make a clarify something. This movie is directed by Stuart Gordon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Because we were talking, because it's a total.
Did he direct the second one?
He did.
Oh, okay.
But like it feels like he directed this one.
Right,
it's totally like
style.
In style, but
yeah.
I know we were talking a lot about him because it always strikes me as a Brian Yuza movie.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I'm like, oh well, the director technically is Stuart Gordon, and he did a fucking awesome job with it. But I think Brian Yuza like produced it.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. So he did not direct this at all. It was Stuart Gordon. What did Stuart Gordon do? Like other stuff?
Oh, he did movies.
Oh, he did not. Well, no, I wasn't sure if you knew like his resume. You know what I mean? Like
his resume.
His filmography.
Well, I mean, let's take a look. The guy is known for Re-Animator. Did you ever see From Beyond?
Oh yeah, he did that too.
Yeah, the movie rocks.
Yeah.
He did some movie called Stuck in 2007. If you didn't see it, you're not alone. He did The Dentist. Well, yeah, The Dentist, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, with Corbin.
Well, I guess he wrote
Benson? It. Yeah. Okay, I remember.
He wrote
that
The Dentist.
I remember that movie. That was a weird movie too. Did you ever see that?
Oh yeah, I saw the sequel also.
It's strange.
Yeah, Stuart Gordon's one of those horror filmmakers that's noteworthy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed this movie. Again, I haven't seen it since like 2000 something. Yeah. And but this is definitely like a fun movie. I would definitely recommend it. I would say there is one scene with Dr. Hill being a weirdo. That's a little uncomfortable, but
I could see somebody being a little upset by it, I suppose.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It's a thing.
Gross. It's gross, yeah. But at for
Trigger
the
warning.
yeah, I would say for the character it fits because he's a fucking
Oh yeah,
creep.
he's a complete scumbag.
But yeah, like
the act itself is just it's
yeah.
unpleasant.
Do you think that was like there to because like Herbert West is not really like supposed to be likable, and to really give the edge to liking Dr. West.
Yeah, like kind of showing that there's like West is a bad guy,
Right.
But like Hill is kind of evil.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah, because
I think it's
say what you want about Herbert West, but it's like he's evil for the sake of something. Like he's actually trying to like, it's in a sense he's trying to like end death, which is kind of a great gift to humanity when you get down to it. So it's sort of like he is just completely chained to that cause.
Yeah.
Hill is just kind of like a opportunist, and he's a creep.
Yeah.
And,
I definitely agree.
Yeah. So comparatively, Herbert West is the hero.
Yeah. Absolutely. How about you? Would you recommend this? And did you enjoy it?
Yeah, man. I watch this movie, if not every year or every 2 years. Yeah. I like this one a lot. This is one of like those movies I really like to watch like really late at night. Yeah, like I went and saw years and years ago. I saw like a midnight showing of it. Oh, cool. And it's just so much fun. It's one of those movies where it's just like you can kind of shut your brain off. It's an unapologetic, straight up horror film. It's made for the horror audience, and horror fans love it. And it was really fun to just be in a theater where everybody's just like cheering and like shouting out lines and stuff. I'm a big fan of this movie, and I also just like the imagination behind it. That the effects in it are awesome. They like that
really
fucking
are awesome.
Cool 80s gore fest.
I know you talk about him a lot, and you're a fan. Mike Flanagan,
yeah,
is a huge fan of this movie.
Yeah, I get it.
And I Sean Clark too.
Yeah,
the
horror guy.
Yeah,
who's in every horror documentary now.
I know, horror expert. He actually owns the Dr. Hill head now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
So he owns that, and he was at a convention. He brought it to a convention because he was talking with like Mike Flanagan, who's a huge fan, and they all got a picture because like Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton were there at the convention, so they all got like a picture together with the prop. Yeah, it's really cool. So that's when I found out like Mike Flanagan's a huge fan too. Yeah.
I like the movie itself, that it's sort of like another, at the time, would have been a modern take on like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Now it's not modern, but at the time, it was a modern retelling of Frankenstein.
What do you call it? It was a postmodern Prometheus.
But like, as far as horror movies go, like, sometimes you go to see something that scares you, and then there's movies like this that are just lots of fun lines, lots of fun gore, and then just those like that cast. Like, I love Jeffrey Combs, I love Barbara Crampton. The rest of them go fuck themselves, but like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, this is one of those, like, if I met somebody for the first time and they were like, oh, I kind of want to watch like a really cool horror film, this is always one that I recommend.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie is incredible. It's really, really good. And Jeffrey Combs definitely steals.
Oh my God, yeah.
But no, discredit to the other actors in this. Like, I really like Bruce Abbott. I think he's a good leading man. He has like a Bruce Campbell kind of quality thing going on a little bit,
like a Ken Campbell.
Yeah, a King Campbell. And then Barbara Crampton was just fun. She was great in this.
Check her out in From Beyond.
Yeah,
because like sometimes like I use the word stylized before to describe the acting. I stand by that. Because sometimes you might watch this and be like, is she like a bad actress? And she's not. Yeah. I've seen her in a lot of stuff, and she's awesome. But From Beyond, that's a real good Barbara Crampton movie.
I was gonna say, like, what's crazy is also Sean Clark owns the Resonator. which
Yeah.
is pretty insane. Yeah, like the full resonator, like that's insane.
The resonator?
Yeah, it's from Jeffrey Combs was in it. Anyways, you could cut this out. Sorry.
It's gone.
It's gone. I think that's what it's the name of the machine, the
Okay.
resonator.
Oh wait, from Beyond?
Yeah,
He owns that thing?
yeah,
No shit.
yeah. Which is
Wow.
it's kind of like I don't even like almost like bigger than
It's
the drum
huge.
set. Yeah, he owns that and it's signed by like Jeffrey Combs. Yeah, and which is kind of awesome. Yeah.
Man, that's the house you want to rob.
I know. His
same.
stuff is like his collection of things. It's on like he has so much stuff from Halloween, and all the Halloween movies. Like he has original masks and stuff.
I thought it was funny that the one time I was listening to I was like the Halloween H2O commentary, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Hi, I'm director Steve Miner. Hello, I'm star Jamie Lee Curtis, and I'm Sean Clark.
Yeah, and you're like, ooh.
Why are you up here?"
Yeah,
I put this whole thing together. I'm like, okay.
yeah. No, he has a lot of Halloween stuff, but he has from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, the arm that came out of the stomach, like what do you call it?
Jesse?
Yeah, like so it has like the
That's
arm
awesome.
that like came out. So he has that and like part of like the shirt of Jesse's. Like, it's really neat. His
Hey,
collection.
Sean Clark, if you ever want to come on the show, let us know.
You know what? If I ever run into him at a convention, I'm gonna ask him to like if he wants to do like a thing like Dave Gonzalez or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Because he's really cool. Like he does a lot of podcast stuff. So,
Just be like, we're gonna be real rude to you.
yeah, we're gonna be so rude and awful,
Mean to you.
and you're gonna hate it. You'll be like, cool. No, but yeah, no, like this movie is awesome. Let's go into emojis. Like, so what are your emojis for this movie?
I give it a cat emoji for Rufus.
Yeah,
Some blood drops because there's a lot of those.
yeah,
I put a little zombie
good.
because there's like zombie is in this. There's like a zombie in this. There's at one
There's
point one of the guys.
multiple.
One
Yeah.
guy comes out of the bag and he's like eating guts or something. I'm like, where'd he get those?
Yeah,
They take those into the body bag with him.
they're his own. He's
Yeah.
just like, oh, I gotta put these back in.
I put more Rufuses in there for emojis
Yeah,
because Rufus is my favorite character. But go on.
yeah, I love it.
Oh, and a thumbs up.
But yeah, I gave this a needle,
Okay.
a brain,
Okay.
and a pencil because I really like when he's snapping
Snapping the
those
pencils,
pencils.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Is it a
those are
number
my
2
emojis.
pencil?
It's a number 2 pencil.
Sure.
I was gonna give him a pen, but I like when he breaks those
Mm.
pencils. So, with that being said, this movie, is rocking. Definitely check it out if you get a chance. It's awesome. How about you? Do you have anything you would like to plug?
I sure do. I'd like to plug Raven View Productions. It's a film production company, and also how you get to listen to this podcast week to week.
Hell
Week
yeah!
to week. We don't miss Wednesdays.
We never.
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 Those who say we did are liars.
Never.
Their days are numbered, those who say that. Fourth Cut Reviews, Keyboard Warrior, Chris Conforti, throwing things at the wall and see what sticks. He's doing stuff.
He's out there.
He's out there. He's out there doing stuff with a keyboard. We got...
What is he doing with that fucking keyboard?
What's he not doing with that keyboard? That's the question. We got Variant Season, our buddy Will Perna's band. He does music, and you can listen to it. And if
It's
you choose
good.
not to, well then, la-dee-da, prick. We got Gravy Diggers.
Gravy diggers.
Finally back on the market. It was taken down for a couple weeks because the fatalities.
They're running into like weird issues all the time.
They are.
But,
It's been really bad lately, but
I love that Matt just bounces back every time.
yeah. It was weird because he found out that like you could put all this weird shit inside of your pot pies if you pay off the right people.
Right.
And we've been helping him too because I think the lines at Starbucks are too long and I'd like to get rid of some more people. Schwartz Dreamboat,
Schwartz Dreamboat.
Find him on whatever socials are still active. He's out there. Comedy genius of the area.
Yeah, they got
Always
rid of
on.
TikTok, but it's back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's the social media zombie.
It got reanimated.
It got reanimated recently. That was a whole thing for 20 minutes. Real Chronicles, that is the podcast of friend of the show, Dave Gonzalez. You can find him at the Cinematic Reel.
And you're on that too, right?
I pop on to the show. Yes, this is a fact. I show up and I yell. I say belligerent things. Anyway, I'm on there,
Cool.
and then I embarrass everybody. And they say, could you just not come back? And I say to them, I sure will. I've hacked into your system. You can't get rid of me.
This is me now.
Yeah, but you can find Dave at the Cinematic Reel, and then also on Rotten Tomatoes, where you can read his fantabulous reviews. And then all of this bullshit I finally got out of the way so I can talk about the only thing that really matters in my life, kitties of NEPA Pet Rescue. Currently, where we are right now, based on EJ's recommendation of Wanda, you now know Scranton, Pennsylvania, where it is currently 4 degrees out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it certainly feels it. There are definitely some cats out there that don't have homes, and it makes me real sad to think about. So there are definitely animals out there that need homes, and if you can adopt some, then they will be off the streets and they won't be cold. So you could do that. You could donate food, blankets. You can look up Kitties of NEPA Pet Rescue and get involved like I did, where I took home a young Ella. True story. After work today, I took a real quick nap because I don't sleep much anymore. And I picked up Ella off of her banana, and I brought her over onto the bed, and she went under the covers, and she just kind of like, she just kind of cuddled into my chest and took a nap. And I was like, man. You could either be outside or someone else could have you, but I'm lucky enough to have you in my life. So you can have that kind of relationship too. So adopt them so they don't have to be cold. And if you don't, then fuck you. How about you, EJ?
Yeah, check out Adam Farley's music on Spotify and iTunes, as well as Chris Alou's music. His EP, Songs from the Hallway, it's out there. Check it out. Make sure to check out the one and only Jon Snow, Metal Messiah.
Metal Messiah, Jon Snow.
He has a ton of shows coming up, and you have to do yourself a favor and see this guy live, because he will blow your fucking mind. You know how people's faces melt at the end of Indiana Jones? If you want that feeling, Jon Snow can do that for
He's
you.
the snow of the Covenant.
Yeah, I've heard people at his shows go, "Don't look at it, Marion," and then her face melted. She couldn't help it.
That was just the thighs. Yeah. Don't look at the Marion.
Don't look at them, and the thighs popped.
But if you do, what? But if you do look, what a way to go!
That is the way to go. That's how I want to go. But yeah, check out Jon Snow, Metal Messiah. He's the best. Also, check out Three Jacks Burger Bar, home to the second favorite podcast, right? Like
we are Three Jack's second favorite podcast.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And what is their burger of the month for January?
It's called the Port Authority.
Yeah,
it's got food on it.
Sick promo.
Yeah,
fucking nailed it.
Come bite into it. There's mac and cheese and shit on it.
Check out Shanty Hill Design. They do incredible work. Mike Vinci, the Vinci.
The Da Vinci of the Vincis.
Yes, he is. And just crushing it, as always. And make sure to check out Comics on the Green. It's a great place.
Get your comics.
Get your comics.
Shoot the shit with some cool people.
Yeah. Becky, who was on Scream 3, our episode, is one of the coolest people you could talk to.
She said it was a really miserable experience being on the show, and she doesn't really like to talk about it.
Right.
So if you see her there, don't make her remember what it was like to smell us.
Yeah. She doesn't want to relive that.
No. It's something about it being vomit-inducing.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
We smell.
We do smell terrible. And I'm trying.
Brush your teeth. Why?
Why? You don't need to do that. Is there anything else I'm missing?
I would like to add one quick thing, an
Yeah.
unusual thing to throw in there. We just lost genius David Lynch, and I'd just like to say R.I.P. David Lynch, and thank you for making all those fucking awesome movies. Because, I see a lot of people try to do David Lynch movies, like they want that sort of style. They want to be that kind of an artist, but there was only one David Lynch who could do that with those remarkable movies without even trying. He was like, I keep seeing this online. He was like a once in a lifetime genius filmmaker, and it sucks that we lost him.
Yeah, he is like seriously a genius, and I did love his cameo. I think that's the last thing acting wise he did.
And the
right?
Fablemans.
Yeah, and the Fablemans. Was that his last?
Yeah, I think so.
He is
Awesome.
in it for like 5 minutes, and it's like the best 5 minutes
Yeah,
ever.
I love that movie. By the way,
It's
I'm like
such a great-
such a huge
yeah.
fan of that movie.
Me too. And
I wonder why.
he is just so good.
Yeah, it's
in
just
that.
it's a shame, man, because he was another one of those. I can't tell you how many people I've met in my life that when I would ask them like, who's your favorite filmmaker, and they would just, David Lynch is either like their favorite or like their second or third, but he meant a lot to a lot of different people, and thanks David Lynch.
Yeah, thank you very much, David Lynch. And yeah, what's your favorite movie?
Well, okay.
Eraser? I'm gonna pick Eraserhead.
Yeah, Eraserhead means a lot to me. I really like Lost Highway quite a bit, but I also like Mulholland Drive and
Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet rocks. Like he's like one of those filmmakers where it's just take your pick.
Yeah,
That's what's
it really
cool
is.
about him. Like even like if one of his movies isn't your favorite movie, it's probably really fun to talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you see like The Elephant Man. And
Yeah.
like, I love that movie,
So
and it's not
good.
my favorite Lynch movie, but it's a
Right.
great movie.
Still amazing. Yeah.
I think Freddie Francis did the cinematography in that, and I'm a big Freddie Francis fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. David Lynch.
Yeah, thank you for everything. And well, one thing I do want to plug. Well, there's two. Respawn Tattoo.
Respawn that too.
Yeah, that's a local place in Dunmore. If you want to get some ink done, this is the guy to do it.
Get your frequels tattoos.
Yeah,
We get a
seriously.
quarter for every one.
He worked on Vince. He worked on your sister, Caitlin, and some other people.
So if he'll
I'm
accept them, he'll accept anyone.
sure. He'll just do anybody. Yeah, no, check out Gentle J. As
Gentle J.
Vince called him. But yeah, he's awesome. He's a really cool dude. He gave us John Lithgow masks, and which I'm gonna treasure forever. And then last but not least, check out frequelspodcast.com. And that's where you could find all the links to our episodes. You could find pictures there. We have merch that we're selling. And this is all thanks to Mike Vinci for setting this up.
The Da Vinci.
The Vinci. Yeah, check that out. If you have anything you want to email us, any like suggestions, or if you want to be on the show. Last week, we had someone that neither of us ever met before who reached out who wanted to be on the show, Brent. And
Brent, thank you for not killing us.
yeah, thanks for not killing us.
It was a real concern.
Yeah, our girlfriends were concerned.
Yeah, they were like, wait, you never met this guy? And I'm like, I guess not.
No, but it was really cool. So we are like, if you're a horror fan or you just want to like promote stuff, whatever, it's cool. We would love to have you on.
You're going to have to sign a lot of forms about things that you can and cannot admit to the press.
Yeah, it's a lot of like.
There's a lot of show before we start. I'll just
Yeah.
put it to you that way.
Yeah. Yeah, no, check us out. Give us a rate and review on iTunes or Spotify.
Smash that like button.
Smash it. And yeah, we appreciate you guys so much. Like, really, really, thank you so much for tuning in every single week and we get your feedback on episodes, and it's just awesome. All the positive feedback and negative. No, we haven't really faced any.
Well, there's actually a lot of hate mail that we get.
Oh, that's why you never check the emails.
Yeah, it actually hurts my feelings when I open it up.
Emotionally, you just can't bring yourself to do it.
It's just kind of like a thing. I take like a deep breath every single time I read our emails, and I'm just like, oh my god.
I know.
And most of them are from family.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Yeah.
No,
that's actually what most of them said.
It's so bad. It's so bad. But yeah, no, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, as always. And with that being said, thank you for listening to Dan. I mean, Ken.
Get better, Adrian.